Forearms are one of the most important muscles for aesthetics because they're seen all the time. It doesn't matter if you're shirtless, wearing a t-shirt, or even just rolling up your sleeves. Your forearms will always subtly signify aesthetics, especially when they're lean and veiny. But here's the problem. You're either not training them or training them completely incorrectly. Today, I'll discuss exactly how to build aesthetic forearms, including the functions of the forearms, the best exercises you can do, and the exact routine you should be doing. On top of that, I'll give you the best forearm exercise if you can only pick one. All right, before we go into the functions and specific exercises we should be doing, first we have to make one thing clear. When it comes to having aesthetic forearms, a big part of it is just being lean. If you're extremely lean, then you're gonna have veins in your forearms and you're gonna see the separation of the different regions. That being said, training is gonna get you there way faster. Actually building that mass in your forearms will make your veins tighter to the skin and just give you that separation because you have the muscle. So when it comes to aesthetic forearms, being lean is gonna play a big role, but when it actually comes to the highest leverage thing you can do, then training them is gonna be number one. So like always, when it comes to training a muscle, we have to first identify the function of that muscle and then isolate it the best we can. And in all my previous guides, this was very simple. The biceps perform elbow flexion, the abs perform spinal flexion, and even a more complicated muscle like the lats has two functions that we can easily bias. But when it comes to the forearms, it's very different. Listen, technically, these are all the functions of the forearm. And if you want to be optimal in the way that I preach in all my videos, then what you have to do is isolate each of these functions and progressively overload over time. And let's be honest, yes, the forearms are important, but nobody has time to isolate all of these functions, especially stuff like individual finger flexion. So instead, what we're gonna do is we're gonna isolate the biggest and most aesthetic parts of the forearm and simply target that function instead. That way we can focus on 20% of the forearm, but get 80% of the results. And there are 3 parts of the forearm and 3 different functions we should focus on. And we'll go in order of importance. And firstly, we have elbow flexion biasing the brachioradialis. As you can see in the photo here, the brachioradialis is going to be sort of that top part of your forearm and honestly should be the number one thing you focus on. But here's the problem. If we're doing elbow flexion, aren't we just training the biceps? And yes, you're right, this is the function of the bicep. But what we can do is we can disadvantage the bicep and therefore isolate the brachioradialis. And to do that, we're going to use a neutral or overhand grip and also train where the brachioradialis has the best leverage, and that's in the top half. And we'll get into specific exercises in a second. So there's the brachioradialis. Now, the second part of the forearm that we should focus on is the wrist flexors. And those are all the muscles on the forearm that are inside and run down. We can easily train these by bringing the wrist towards the palm and performing wrist flexion. The last part that we should focus on is going to be the wrist extenders. And these are sort of the opposite of the wrist flexors as they run on the top of your forearm. Again, these are very easy to bias and train. All we have to do is lift our wrist upward and train wrist extension. So now we understand the top 3 highest ROI regions of the forearm and the functions to train them. And before we talk about the exact exercises for each of these regions, first let's go over some things you shouldn't do. The first and the worst advice you can ever get when it comes to building your forearms is that you should train without straps and that'll develop them. If anyone has given you that advice, please never listen to them again. Firstly, and most obviously, remember the functions of the forearm that we just talked about? Elbow flexion, wrist extension, all that? Well, obviously training without straps doesn't bias any of that. So by definition, it's not going to grow your forearms. But let's say that training without straps actually did grow your forearms very well. Now it becomes actually even worse because now you're claiming that your row or your pull down or whatever exercise you're doing without straps is now your forearm exercise of choice. Remember, to grow a muscle, we have to target its function and then progressively overload over time. So if you think your forearms are growing from doing rows with no straps, then the limiting factor in your exercise is not your back, and congrats, you're no longer training your back in your program. I mean, that's literally the logic that's being used. So guys, please, for my sake, you know my only goal is to help you. So please continue using straps. And if you're not using them, then start. The second thing you shouldn't do is use a grip exercise as your forearm exercise. Look, many people are going to recommend farmer's carries, dead hangs, static holds, and all these different grip exercises to try and build your forearm.
Weight pinches are actually underrated. These are a fun way to progressively overload by trying to add some time each week. Low A tier. Farmer's carries are fun since you're moving through space, and I love them as an athletic movement. High B tier.
And look, even ignoring the fact that these exercises often involve a lot of other muscles and become extremely fatiguing, at the end of the day, they don't even target the function that we're after. So sorry guys, I had to get that out of the way just because so many people give such bad advice. And guys, real quick, before we talk about specific exercises, if you guys are interested in a science-based split that's optimized solely for aesthetics and visual results, then check out the Ascension system at the first link in the description. And this isn't just some $20 PDF, it's a full system. There's video modules of everything you need, including all training days and full exercise tutorials. Many future modules are currently being worked on, so if you're serious about results and want everything in one place, get it now at the lowest price it'll ever be. So now let's get into the S tier exercises. And first, we have the Brachioradialis curl. And there's many ways to do this. Essentially, if you have an overhand grip and you're staying in that top range, then you can pick any exercise. But the best options that you can pick for this is going to be first, simply a neutral or reverse curl on a cable. Just remember to stay in that top half range of motion. The second option you have is going to be a hammer curl, and specifically a supported hammer curl. And the best way to set this up is simply to go to a preacher curl machine and just turn around on it. A normal hammer curl can work too, but this is specifically effective because of the stability and the ascending resistance profile. The last option you have is going to be a cuffed overhand curl on the cable. And if you had to pick one of the most effective form exercise, I would pick the cuffed overhand curl. And to make this S++, bring over a bench, fix your shoulder, and perform it like this. But this is just for anyone that wants to be super optimal. All the other variations work as well. Alright, that's for the brachialis. And lucky for us, for the wrist flexors and wrist extenders, it's very simple. For the wrist flexors, all we need to do is stabilize our wrist on a bench and simply perform a wrist curl. This can be done on a cable as such, or can simply be done with a dumbbell, and that'll work just as well. Lastly, for the wrist extenders, all we need to do is perform wrist extension. And it's the exact same process, just flip the other way. We can use cables or dumbbells, simply stabilize our wrist on the bench, and perform wrist extension. Alright, so now we know all about the most optimal exercises. Now let's talk about the frequency and volume and sample routines for your forearms. And this has no real straight answer because it's very individual. I mean, how much do you care about your forearms? As we know, the more volume, the more frequency, the more muscle is going to grow. So if you really care about your forearms, then potentially train them 3 or even 4 times per week. And in terms of volume, I would recommend 5 to 15 sets. But again, this depends on how many functions you want to target. So what I'll do now is I'll give you 3 different sample plans, and you can pick whichever one works best for you. And of course, like always, we're going to be doing between 5 and 15 reps for each exercise, and we're going to be training extremely hard, either to failure or very close to it. Alright, for the first plan, this is for you if you want to put in a limited amount of effort, but get a very big amount of results. And that's simply going to be picking your favorite brachioradialis curl and performing it 3 times per week. Guys, even just doing this, especially with the form cues that I just mentioned, is going to grow your forearms a ton. For the second plan, we're specializing more for the forearms. Here, we're going to do the brachioradialis curl, but also the wrist curl 3 times per week. This is of course going to grow your forearms extremely optimally, but you won't necessarily have to remove the volume from many other muscle groups. You can simply add this at the end of your workout and it'll still be pretty effective. But for plan 3, now we're talking about full prioritization for your forearms. And here, we're doing the brachioradialis curl, the wrist curl, and the wrist extenders 3 times per week. Now look, the forearms recover rather quickly, and they're not very fatiguing on your CNS system. But if we're doing volume like this, and fully specializing for the forearms, then we're probably going to have to reduce the volume of other muscle groups. With that being said, if you want to maximally grow your forearms, then this is the routine I'm going to recommend. And because you watched this far into the video, let me give you another secret that you can implement. If you want to grow your forearms optimally and as fast as possible, simply do them at the start of your session. This is when you'll be the most fresh and can produce the most motor units. So you'll progress in your lifts and grow as fast as possible if you add them at the start. But other than that, that is the full guide on the forearms. Now you understand that although the forearms have many functions, there's 3 we should focus on. And you know exactly what exercises target each function. Comment any questions down below and let me know, do you train your forearms? Leave a like if you learned anything or just enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more content every single week. Thank you for watching.